Welcome to Second Listen Saturday on the Parenting Roundabout podcast, where we share some fun moments from a past episode for your weekend listening pleasure. Look for new episodes every Monday through Friday.
Today, we're talking about something that's very much on the minds of parents like me who have kids about to go to college. So, who wants to give the background? Who feels they're the most...
Well, first, I think you should say, when last we spoke about college, last week, as a matter of fact, right. Nicole was all upset because her daughter had been rejected, and she just couldn't figure out why. Since then, there have been stories in the news that, maybe explain it.
Exactly.
Some millionaire wanted that spot for their kid, Nicole, and we're very sorry.
Yes, I know.
They were paying for it, and you weren't. So.
Yes.
I don't have pockets that deep, obviously.
Yeah. Half a million from Aunt Becky to send her.
Catherine, do you want to fill the listeners in on the story briefly?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this has been all over the media, the social and traditional media.
Right.
Which is this, it's officially called Operation Varsity Blues. Did you know that? This is this scandal in which there was a guy who promoted himself as a, consultant or...
I was a little worried. It wasn't the guy you interviewed for us, was it,
Nicole? No, I know. I checked to see if his name was on there.
So this guy was helping, in quotation marks, the children of celebrities and CEOs and, other rich people, I guess, to cheat their way into being admitted to some prestigious schools by claiming that they were star athletes when they weren't, by helping them cheat on the SATs. I think those were the two main methods that he used. And a bunch of people got arrested. So...
Wow.
Including Aunt Becky.
Including Lori Loughlin and Aunt Becky from Full House. And Felicity Huffman of... everybody refers to her as being from Desperate Housewives, but to me, she will always be from Sports Night.
Yeah.
Dana, come on.
What are you doing?
Alan Sepinwall put up a gif of SAT money tonight.
Which you will understand if you ever watch Sports Night. We will link to all of our coverage of that show.
Goodness.
But it's very, I think what I'm seeing, I don't know about you guys, but what I'm seeing in especially my Facebook feed is, a lot of people are, disgusted, but a lot of people are saying they're not shocked, that they feel like the whole college admissions thing is a scam.
Well, it used to be you would buy a building.
Right.
And now you Photoshop your kid's head on a picture of an athlete. So I guess it's gotten smaller. And smaller and sadder.
And a lot of people are talking about how it's kind of like an overparenting thing of, jumping in and doing this for your kids so that they don't have to do it themselves. And it's a lot about it's about privilege, it's about a lot. And I think, as Terry, you talked about a little bit, a lot of what's really upsetting is the way that, at least I think it was in Felicity Huffman's case, the consultant had her apply to get accommodations for the SAT.
Yes, get her classified as learning disabled so she could have accommodations. And that is where this is all going to end. All this other stuff is going to be taken care of. People will lawyer up. It will go away, but it will become harder and harder to get kids who actually need the accommodations to get them. Right. People will say, it's all a scam. See, I always knew it was a scam. It was just a scam. And kids who legitimately need it will not be able to get it. The same thing happened with Disney. They had this nice thing where if your kid had a disability, you could go to the head of lines, you could get certain accommodations, and then people cheated, and then they just eliminated it. So stop it. That's what's really, really outrageous about it, is that, in the end, they're still going to get away with it. And the people who can't, who really need help are still not going to be able to get in. I don't really care what rich people do with their money, and my kids were never going to go to an elite college, so I don't feel cheated. I feel sometimes that the emphasis on elite colleges needs to go away, and maybe this will help.
Mm-hmm.
But but that is gonna really hurt and set back disability causes, because there are tons of people on the internet. Anybody who writes about disability on the internet knows there are tons of people who want to write it all off as a scam. So this is just giving them a reason to.
Mm-hmm.
Your kid isn't really going to die if they don't have that peanut butter sandwich. You just want to control everybody. So this is just going to feed into all of this stuff. Blech. Your kid doesn't really have ADHD. You're just trying to make excuses. Right. Now it's going to be you're just rich and want to get them into college.
Yeah. I mean,
but from your point of view, Nicole, I can imagine you're pretty steamed.
Pardon?
I said from your point of view as trying to get a kid into college, I'm sure you're pretty steamed about the whole collegeness of it.
The thing is that that this goes on. Like it always has, and it will continue to. I mean, how on earth did these two actresses find out about this guy who provides these specialized services? Well, obviously he is, his name is shared amongst their circles, because I'm pretty sure he didn't put a billboard up in like West Hollywood or something, right?
Yeah.
Advertising and services. So this stuff's been going on for years. It'll likely continue in some other fashion or format. Mm-hmm. But what is frustrating is the lack of transparency that these schools have. And that's what's really frustrating my daughter right now.
See what we talked about last week. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Right. It's like, where's the rhyme or reason? Why are things the way they are? And, obviously it's because, some of this stuff goes down.
Yeah.
that there's spots taken. But it's just the overall, I guess, my feelings about this whole situation is, number one, that we put these colleges and universities in such a pedestal, right?
Yes.
That they're, our kids have to go there.
Yes.
Which they don't.
Mm-hmm.
And that people are willing to pay huge money for these places.
Yes.
For an education, which is not necessary. And I'm not trying to diss people who did go to these institutions, because they definitely have, a place and a purpose, but it's not for everybody.
Yes.
So stop telling everybody that they can go.
Yeah, that's right.
If they have the money and the grades and whatnot, because that's not true, because this kind of stuff happens, and this kind of stuff takes away seats, and this kind of stuff devalues the degree that people already have. Oh, you went to USC. Oh, they let people in, who got 1,000 on their SAT, right? To cheat their way in.
Yeah.
So it's not a good thing all the way around.
I wonder if maybe a good thing to come out of this will be that there will be a call for transparency, and that colleges will do it just to prove that they've cleaned up. We're not doing this anymore. Yeah. Although I don't know how they can, really, because there's a certain amount of privacy concerns, I would guess.
Well, Nicole, what were you saying about last week? You were saying that there was a way that you could look at the profiles of people who had gotten into certain schools. How does that work?
Yeah, so that there's various charts out there and information. There's the formal ones that the schools put out, and they'll sometimes put out those scatter graphs, where they've got these different qualities and where most of the kids lie within these certain types of qualities. Then you've got the informal, not official places such as Reddit and College Confidential and Mrs. Sun's, college page or something along those lines, where kids will go in and they'll say, I've been accepted to this program. These are my these are my credentials, my qualifications, so that you can say, oh, wow, okay, yeah, I did that, so I should be able to get in, or I didn't do that, so forget it, I'm not getting in. So there's information out there, but it's just the stuff from the schools is very general. Let's just say that. It's just very, very general. And there's you never get a reason as to why you got declined, or it's just, and of course, I mean, think like, I don't know, the UCs, the system here in California, something like, 200,000 or 300,000 freshman applicants last year.
Right.
So there's an incredible amount of kids applying, but yeah, they got to figure it out.
Yeah, well, they got a big goose egg now.
Yeah, they sure do.
Big black eye.
Yeah.
That's really something.
So,
but
yeah.
Interesting to see where it goes. I don't know. Are all these rich people's kids now going to get booted out of school and other people get moved up in those spots? Or?
Well, yeah. And apparently some of them were even flaunting it. That they were,
Yes.
They were there not because of their own merits.
They were there, but they didn't actually go to class, I believe was one thing I read.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
That's money well spent, Mom and Dad.
Right?
Jeez.
Proud of your kids.
Yes, you could have saved a lot of that Fleur House money and just sent her to a community college for a couple of years, see if she likes it.
Well, I think one of the quotes was in the court documents, because of course I was like, I just went down this rabbit hole. Was that they couldn't bear to see her go to Arizona State.
Oh goodness.
Which is where she would be qualified to go.
Yeah.
So I was like, really? Are you kidding me?
I don't know. I think we just need to rethink college altogether.
We do.
There needs to be a bigger emphasis on cheaper alternatives and also on different kinds of schools for people who don't really need an English degree from someplace to make their living. I certainly would have liked to see more choices for my kids. And I think there's a lot of kids out there who, you're going to take on an enormous degree of debt for something that's not really going to make a difference in their lives.
Goodness.
It will, but that there could be better alternatives for.
Well, that's a whole other topic of discussion.
But maybe if stories like this start to make colleges look bad, maybe we could get a chance to get a foothold in there for something else. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But clearly you have to step up your game, Nicole.
Clearly.
Get your photoshopping skills up and,
make our millions off this podcast. That would be nice.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll put 100% of the funds that we've made from this podcast
towards college.
Towards bribes. Yes. Well, on that note, I think we better quit while we're ahead here.